So I think Harsh pointed out one thing, I think a lot of the issues tend out to be because of two reasons, I think. One is, Harsh talked about governance very early on, right? He said governance is absolutely paramount because I think what people don't want is to give money, and there are different reasons why that capital has not generated any results other than the business. Two is, I think, which generally tends to happen more often is, and we've seen this, it's a weird behavior, right? That entrepreneurs tend to hide things which are likely to turn negative, right? Till the point in time where they cannot hide it any longer. Okay, so we actually, whenever we have conversations with our entrepreneurs, we tell them first thing, please, bad news should travel fastest. I have no problem if you won an award and you tell me about that 3 months later, but if you see even the slightest issue somewhere which is likely to snowball into a bigger problem, please tell me now, so at least I know what's happening, right? So I think one is, don't, surprises should not be, it's kind of the first reaction, right? I think in any relationship. So I think if you manage these two things, then generally, typically what ends up happening is that if things are turning bad, people know why it's happening and they're much more prepared for it, and maybe it's, not everything is likely to end in a happy ending, so, but at least you have a much more rational way out of that process, right? So, because it's very difficult, right, to judge. Sitting today, no one can judge what's going to happen 6 months later, let alone 5 years later.
And talking from on behalf of entrepreneurs, I think one of the most common thing that I've heard is ego and personality mismatches. I think investors are finally people, right? I mean, they also, and they are far more egoistical than anybody else in the world. So it just, there is a issue. I'm not saying that it's only y'all. So you all do everything right, and you could still end up with a problem. But at least if you do everything right and have have your conscience clear about that you've done all that Dhanpal has asked you to do, at least you know that you can stand, in front of another investor and say, look, it's not my problem. This is what it is. This is exactly what happened. So you could get unlucky and get somebody like me on your board. So what do you do? So but you have to pick carefully, therefore. So there is also a personality match, the person's understanding of your business. But in today's world, when you are a taker of capital, you can't do too much about it. So at least you have to be able to then say that, okay, let me work actively on an exit. And where does the friction maximum happen? Is in the where the philosophy mismatches, right? You think you should grow, you should go to the US. I don't think you should go to the US. Please exploit India before you go to the US. Basic things like that you can, pretty much check off before you get into a relationship.